No one on last night's debate stage has served in our military in the 8 o'clock program, but they do have a plan for the military. Listen to this.
We make it great again. We build up our military. We take care of our vets.
The first thing that we need to do is to stop the craziness of the sequester, rebuild our military.
We need to care for our veterans so 307,000 of them aren't dying waiting for health care.
I want the men and women at home to know, if I am commander-in-chief, I will only send you into harm's way when our national security is at risk.
The first war was a mistake, and I'm not sending our sons and our daughters back to Iraq.
So after last night's performance, who will wind up with the vet vote? Here to discuss is our panel of vets. Carl Higbee is a former Navy SEAL. Kieran Lalor is a New York Assemblyman and a retired infantryman in the Marine Corps, and New York co-chair of Carly Fiorina for America, so we know who he likes. And Katie Horgan is a retired Marine Corps captain. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
All right, Carl, so who'd you like last night?
Close tie. I'm still a Trump guy through and through because I think he demonstrates the executive decisiveness in order to put troops on the ground if necessary and make the tough decisions, but I give Carly a close second.
So you hadn't really seen much of Carly, and you saw her last night you liked.
Right. I think her stance on how to deal with Putin was well executed, flawless, and like I said earlier, her debate coach is awesome.
Music to your ears, isn't it, Kieran?
I roughed this tough seal up.
He was pushing me around outside.
Carly, buddy.
What was it about Carly's performance last night? And she was on our program about an hour and a half ago, and she said, you know, this was a good opportunity because a lot of people never heard of me, never seen me before.
Yeah. I think she was the first person to utter the word veteran. I don't know if I heard anybody else say it. She had some real specifics. 300,000 veterans dying, waiting for care. I like that. She had a plan, a soft plan for Iran. We could unilaterally make it very difficult for the Iranians to move around money, which could squeeze them, and that's a way of dealing with them in a peaceful way.
Well, you mentioned she had a plan. Here is a soundbite from last night where Ms. Fiorina talks about her military plan.
We need the strongest military on the face of the planet, and everyone has to know it. And specifically what that means is we need about 50 Army brigades. We need about 36 Marine battalions. We need somewhere between 300 and 350 naval ships. We need to upgrade every leg of the nuclear triad. We need to reform the Department of Defense. We need as well to invest in our military technology.
We're going to turn to domestic issues now with
we
Dana
need to
Bash.
care for our veterans so 307,000 of them aren't dying waiting for health care.
Jake, let her finish talking.
Yeah.
All right, Katie, your favorite.
Definitely Jeb. I think he's done a really good job of laying out a plan to reform and refocus the VA, so I think he'd be a strong advocate for veterans. And on the foreign policy front, he really cemented last night that he's committed to, you know, reestablishing American leadership on the world stage, so he's got a strong foreign policy plan. And he's also committed to rebuilding the military, and I personally want a president who is not necessarily going to exercise force the first time, but we need to have a commitment to, you know, building up our military so that we can react if and when we're called upon.
All right. None of you selected Ben Carson as your favorite. However, he had a great soundbite last night that a lot of people are talking about, where sometimes maybe we should think before we use muscle and use our heads. Listen to this.
I have no argument with having a strong leader and to be aggressive where aggression is needed. But it's not needed in every circumstance. There is a time when you can use your intellect to come up with other ways to do things, and I think that's what we have to start thinking about.
And he's right about that. Carl, you say your least favorite of the candidates is now
Rand Paul. I just don't think he's willing to do anything that is required to overthrow a violent Middle East. And to Ben Carson's point, yes, there are times where you need to use intellect, but at this point in time, you have a region that is chanting death to America in Iran. You have radical Islam going rampant in Iraq and Syria. We need force.
Real fast, your least favorite.
I think Trump was unprepared. That makes him my least favorite. He doesn't have any specifics. He says, after I get elected, I'll figure it out. That's really not the way you go to a job interview. Give me the job and I'll figure it out.
Katie?
Trump as well. He's a sensationalist candidate. You need hard and soft power as a president, and I don't think he has the ability to exercise soft power either at home to make, you know, things better for vets or abroad diplomatically.
All right, we thank you all for staying up really late last night watching that really long debate.
One.
All right, and thanks for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you.